Well, howdy folks, and welcome to Mower Mike's. Today I'm super excited because I get to talk about one of my favorite tools in the world. This is probably second to wood chippers. We're talking about pole saws. Yes, we're going to talk about a comparison of an electric versus a gas-powered pole saw. This is something I know you've been wondering about for years. So I'm going to go through each one of these and talk about the build, the benefits, possibly some of the negatives with each one. So, the first one that we're going to look at is the Dewalt. Now, this is a battery powered. It runs on the 20-volt lithium-ion battery. It's got an 8-inch power head on it. And both of these, it's a 10-foot. It's expandable. So we're going to look at that. And then we're going to compare that against, I went on Amazon. I was like, what is the most obnoxious pole saw you can buy in one of these Chinese versions? And I looked for the largest engine you could buy with the largest power head on it. And this is what I came up with. This is the Proyama. I think it's a 48cc. Yeah, that 48cc pole saw. So this is the biggest one you can buy on Amazon. It runs about $200. And it also is 10 foot. It is expandable. And it is a beast. So we're going to compare the two. Now, I know a lot of y'all are probably going to turn off very quickly. So I want to get one point in before we go any further. Really, the biggest limiting factor for a lot of you folks is going to be weight. So we're going to talk about weight real quick. Now, the brushless right here, the 20-volt Dewalt, I weighed it myself with my fancy little scale, and it came in at 9 pounds. It's very easy to use for pretty much anybody, including the females. Now, this big bastard here, I weighed at 22 pounds. So that is going to be one of your biggest differences, especially when you get it 10 foot out. You've got a lot of leverage going on. So it is a bit of a challenge, but if you stick around a little bit, you're going to see this sucker does rip. So what we're going to do next, we're going to zoom in, we're going to take a look at the build, and then we're going to go out in the field and just cut a whole bunch of stuff down. So stay with me and let's have some fun. What we're going to do next, real quick, we're going to go through the build of each saw, show you how they operate. I just noticed I've got my Harley over here, so hopefully I don't get a chainsaw into the Harley. All right, we're going to start with the Dewalt here. I can see right here, it's got the battery, the 20-volt lithium max ion battery, which to me is not very impressive. This saw will churn through batteries like nothing. You'll get about 10 cuts. You've got a safety right here. Boom, boom, pull it right there. What I do like about the Dewalt is that it is super, super easy to expand. Right here, you've got a little twisty right here. And so that unplugs that. And you can see it's got the power nipple right there. And then it comes with an entirely different third. So this is about 3 feet. So all you do, you just plug it in. It's got little arrows right here. You'll feel it go home. Come on. Right there. And then you just spin that on there like so. And then you do that to the other side here. And this will expand it out to over 10 foot. Come on. You just kind of turn it and then you shove it in there. It does have arrows on it. Shoot. There you go. You'll feel it come home. And so then it makes the connection all the way through and you've got yourself a 10-foot saw, and it is much easier than the gas powered to put together because the connections are easier and it is much lighter. So let's pull this out of the way before I break something and take a look at I think it's called a Proyama, Proyama, sorry, I'm not good at Chinese. But you can see right here, this sucker has a 48cc engine on it. Now that's actually bigger than like your Husqvarna 16-inch chainsaw, the Rancher 454. So this is a very, very large engine. It's got a big tank on it. You'll notice around here, it's actually got an Echo style carburetor because it does not have the fuel bulb, which I like. So all you do is you choke it, you pull it, and it starts right up. Now operation-wise, I also like the fact it has an on-off switch right there. It's got a safety switch. So you pull this, make sure that's on, and then when you crank it, when you're starting it, you just do that. Now, the connections are a bit more of a challenge, as you're gonna see. Now on here, you're gonna see it has a little twisty thing right there. So what you do is you untwist that, and then you pull this little thing here, and then it should come out. So it does work, folks, but as you see right here, I'm gonna try to do this live. And when you do that, you've got your end like so, and then on the other end of your extension, you've got it like here. So it's just like a trimmer. It's got a cord in there, and you just line these two up, hopefully. And then when you come down, you pull this thing out as you twist it in, and it should pop right in there. So it's not too hard to put together, but you do have to make sure everything is lined up, and then you can put this back on there, and it is also a 10-foot saw. Now, lots of talking. Another reason I bought this saw is that it has an organ bar on it, which is a really good bar. So I thought this was really cool because it's not just a cheapo Chinese bar on it. So it's got the organ double bar 91. I don't know what that means, but it does have a little kickback. So it does work pretty well. And then over here, you know, you've got your bar chain oil, which is on the battery powered one also. All right, enough wrestling with that. Nothing got hurt. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these things together. We're gonna extend them all the way out and go saw some stuff in the front yard. All right, let's go ahead and have some fun with two totally different tree saws. We got our Dewalt here, battery powered, and the giant Proyama Chinese chainsaw. So we're starting with the Dewalt. You know, first thing, it is much, much lighter, as I showed you before. So the Dewalt is great for some smaller branches. So let's try ahead. We got about a 3-incher here. Let's see how she does. Golly, this thing, as you see, anytime you get anything over about 2 inches, it just takes a long time. And if you push too hard into it, it dies like that. But it does eventually get there. But really, where the Dewalt is good, if you've just got little stuff, let's say this guy here, just for some little tree trimming. But let's try the bigger one, because I like gas power tools. So let's see if we can get this thing started up. Now this is starting from completely cold. I have not used it today. Make sure we got the start on. Look at that, she starts right up. Ah, that just feels better. All right, we're gonna do the same type of branch here. She's still warming up a touch here. Oh! Come around this way, get it. I see it definitely does better. Come around this way. It's still bouncy. Haha, look at that thing rip. Let's go ahead and try a smaller one and see how she does. Oh, she's warmed up now. There she goes. Look at her open up. And let's try it right here. This one absolutely rips. So you can see this one, they've got the same length on them, but as we go around here to these bigger stuff, like right here, it still bounces around. This is pretty much maxed out for her. It's still a little wiggly. I can see, folks, the gas chainsaw does a lot better. It's still a tree saw. You're 15 foot out, so you're going to have a lot of vibration. Like, see, this is pretty much the maxed out. We got about a 6-inch cut. I tell y'all what, that was a good time. Anytime you get a pole saw ripping and those branches falling, and then you do follow it up with a little chipping, I mean, that is a party in my book. So let's talk about which one you should buy. To be honest with you, it really depends on what you plan on doing. If you're just the casual homeowner that wants to go up there and just nip a few limbs every now and then, and you're not worried about anything bigger than 2 to 3 inches, the battery powered one works great. I have no qualms with that. It's super light. But if you're doing anything more than 3 inch and you've got a job where you're going out there in the wilderness and you've got to cut, I tell you what, this thing is awesome. Something else I want to add is that I didn't start this thing for 8 months. It sat in my backyard and it started on the third pull, which is very, very rare for any type of two-stroke. So I do support buying this saw. I think it is awesome. I'll put an Amazon link down below. They're only like $200, and I know it's Chinese, but everything's made overseas these days, so screw it. I do want to also address one more type of saw I did not bring up, and that is your plug-in saw. What I've got here is a Remington pull saw. I've had this thing for years. Plug-ins are really going to be your cheapest option, and it does provide more power than your battery powered. But they are a pain. They're constantly coming unplugged. You've got to haul around an electrical cord with you. But it is an option. You can get one of these for $70 or $80. I'll put an option down below also. So let's sum it up. First of all, you got price. Your cheapest is going to be your plug-in. Decent power, but you got to deal with the cord. The next cheapest actually is your gas powered. The gas powered runs $200. I think this is a hell of a deal on this saw here. And really, your battery powered saws, they are the most expensive. You're going to see some knockoff brands online that they're knockoff Dewalts, but they do run on the original Dewalt battery, and they sell you the saws without the batteries for like $140, but then you got to buy the batteries for like $150. So you're going to be into a battery powered saw anywhere from $250 to $300 versus just buying a gas one for $200. So if you're man enough to handle a 22-pound saw, I'd say Gale gas all day long. So with that, hey, I'm having a good time. Stay tuned. We're going to get back into some more crappy mower videos before you know it. Mower Mike's out. See you next time.